Hey everybody, welcome to Houston Massage Therapy Pain Relief and Recovery Specialist live stream. Today we are going to go a little bit over how we're restructuring some of our streams, and then we'll get right into it. So to start, we're going to start having one stream a month where we go over each month's awarenesses and observances, how they tie into massage therapy, and, kind of answering any questions that relate to those of whoever's here in chat. The other stream that we're going to do each month is definitely going to be more of a live Q&A, and I would like to do a third. We're going to kind of see, kind of play around and see what people are kind of wanting to see as far as massage therapy goes, because we definitely want to keep it, more organized and more on point and relative to massage therapy. So, without further ado, we're going to get into this month's awarenesses, October's. And we have quite a few that, are both close to home and then stuff that does seem to kind of help with things that a lot of people just in general seem to kind of suffer with. And then a couple where we go into some animal awarenesses and some posture stuff. So, the first we want to kind of talk about the animal stuff. October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month, so definitely look, especially if you're looking to get a dog or anything like that, it's always, in my opinion, better to try to adopt one. There are so many dogs that are in shelters, right now and each year. So they always, they always deserve a forever home as well. So I've been known to foster and adopt animals, and it's definitely, an experience. But it's definitely something to kind of think about, and especially in the future, whenever you're going to either get one or know anybody that was thinking about getting one or anything like that. It's always good to just kind of at least recommend, and or if you know anybody like a veterinarian, that sort of thing. It's always really helpful to kind of get involved with that sort of stuff as well. Getting involved with the shelters. One of the things we would do is whenever we were doing our internship for canine massage therapy, is we would go to some 2 different animal shelters, and we would do canine massage on a few different kinds. So for the internship, you had to do, what was it, like so many hours of massage on dogs, and the dogs had to be at least 4 sessions for each dog, and it had to be a bunch of different. There was an age of ranges, a range of ages that you had to kind of go through, as well as different breeds for each one. So it was definitely a pretty interesting challenge, and one of the best ways to essentially get that internship done is I went around to different animal shelters, and we did some assessments and treatments for the dogs that were there, and it was really awesome to see the change in their physiology, their mental health, just from showing them, what appropriate touch can be. So it's definitely, something that can be really helpful for them, even if you don't necessarily see the effects right away. There was one dog in particular that I kind of worked on. She was a pit bull, or she's still a pit bull, but she's a pit bull, and whenever the shelter had gotten her, her ears were cut, her tail was cut, and she had a bunch of scars, inch and a half long scars all over her body. And so they, judging by how she was acting and the different markings and stuff like that, they had presumed that she was used as a bait dog, which, is horrible. It's never something you want to really witness, or at least I don't anyway. I definitely don't want to be involved with anything like that. But she was very skittish, and it took, normally for a canine massage session, I go in, we meet for the first time, we try to see, how the dog responds to a massage versus just someone petting her, because it is a lot different. We put pressure in areas that they don't normally receive pressure, and that have a cascading effect throughout their body whenever you provide that, just like a massage for a human would be. And so it took probably the third time that I went to the shelter to meet with this dog. She finally came over and walked under my hand to allow me to pet her. And after that, we didn't actually do the massage that day, but the next time I came to visit, she came, up to me pretty easily, of course, because I had treats. Lots of bribing with treats is really, I guess, what I'm getting at here. They have to see that, you're obviously not a threat, you're not going to hurt them. And after that, we started doing, 2 sessions a week? And we did that for about 4 months. And honestly, after about the second week, I noticed a big difference just in her demeanor, particularly in coming up to me. Not necessarily with coming up to new people or anything like that, but after about a few months of working with her and everything like that, even the workers there were saying that she would just generally seemed a lot happier, a little more active, a little more playful. I'm trying to think and remember what they said about her behavior. They did also notice that, her ears were perked up a lot more often. She didn't seem so scared. And whenever meeting new people, possible new adoptees, it didn't take her nearly as long to warm up to them. And so just with that stuff alone, it really seemed to kind of show through and like on the mental aspect of what it can do for a dog. And so, which kind of goes into our National Animal Safety and Protection Month. We definitely, pets are a big responsibility. And so a lot of times when animals end up going into these different types of situations where they get rescued from, they either, oh my God, there's so many ways. But it's always best to, make sure that you are going to take care of the animal that you're going to get, and it's not going to be, a spur of the moment kind of thing. We definitely don't want to have to give up an animal or anything like that, or hand them over somewhere where they could potentially be put down just because, nobody wanted them in a long time. So it's definitely something to think about, and really canine massage therapy is helpful for so many more things aside from their mental health, just as like with humans, post-surgery, pre-surgery, and even dogs that play sports. We are going to end up doing a live stream where we talk all about canine massage and everything like that, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we can move on to our next subject, which is critical illness awareness. There are so many different types of cancers and illnesses, things like that. It's really hard to just kind of keep track and say, this is what we need to focus on today. So that's why a lot of these awarenesses are really gentle reminders for us to kind of think about throughout the year. Things that kind of speak to us, things where we want to kind of talk about and that way, if we have loved ones or anything like that, we can kind of talk to them or maybe understand a little more. That's really the most of what you can expect for some of these awarenesses, some of these months. there are a lot of self-examinations that you can do for critical illnesses, things like that. It's definitely helpful to check with your PCP to make sure, in case you have anything kind of going on. It's always best to kind of get ahead of it. And of course, if there's any particular illness that is close to your heart, then, giving to charity is also something that can help progress any sort of research that they have going on with that particular illness. If there is a particular thing that you're going through, it's okay to reach out for help and talk to others. It's probably one of the best things that you can do to try to get somewhat of a slightly different perspective, or try to see if there's any sort of other kind of motivation for that type of issue or that type of illness. And most importantly, you need to go easy on yourself. Self-criticism really only makes things worse. Be nice to yourself. If anything else, be nice to yourself. It's a really good thing to remember to stay positive during these types of things, and really that's why we're talking about it here, because there's a lot of oh my god, I forgot the word. There's a lot of oncology massage that deals with specific treatments and specific tactics and ways on working with people and different types of cancers, where it can be effective and not alter or change or cause any additional issues that they may be having with that particular illness. This next one, there's definitely a few levels to it. One of the main, I guess, blanket statements is, of course, emotional wellness. I believe the phrase is you can't pour from an empty cup. So you really need to take care of yourself first, not just physically, but emotionally. And it really just has a very powerful, overall well-being, feeling for you, and not just your physical health. A lot of different things, which is crazy, that can come with emotional stress, can translate into negative physical reactions. Weakened immune systems, and which that alone, if you already, the world we live in is, Jesus, people do not know how to clean up after themselves sometimes, especially out in public. So it's really, really important to make sure that your mental health is well taken care of. Either seeing a therapist. I've been seeing my therapist for, over a year now. It's probably one of the best things I've done. So yeah, it's very helpful to kind of have someone to talk to. Make sure that mentally you feel like you can be not necessarily stable all the time, but be able to comprehend what's going on, and then find ways to be able to kind of help with that in your own way, versus just spiraling out of control, being stressed out, and making your health even worse. Just generally with massage, when you're getting a massage, and a lot of these things about massage therapy with these things that we're going to talk about are going to sound a little repetitive, mostly because it does cover a pretty wide variety of things with these topics. So as far as emotional wellness and massage therapy, just having a full body of relaxing massage has a pretty powerful sedative effect on the nervous system. And so with that, you have, when you're stressed and you have all that stuff kind of built up in your body, the massage itself helps to kind of relieve a lot of that tension that's happening here. Usually, most of the people that we do work on, most of their stress tends to kind of carry here in their neck or shoulders or in their lower back. And it's very obvious whenever you start to work on them, and then towards the end of the session, whenever you kind of see, like, you remove some of the tension and you see how much stress they've been kind of relieved of. But it is, of course, not just something for the massage clinic. It's definitely something that you have to practice when you're out, when you're in your daily life, to make sure that your mental acuity, your mental health is as sharp as can be, and so that you can make all the right decisions and not really have anything compromised that's going to affect things later on. So on top of the mental kind of clarity that it can provide, the physical relief that it can provide is, again, just as great. Not just being something about the brain. Let's see. So we have Emotional Wellness Month. Part of Emotional Wellness Month, which I thought kind of tied in pretty well, is ADHD awareness. It took so long for ADHD to really be acknowledged, and there's so many, different variations of it. So it's something you kind of want to get double checked and make sure that, you're not being too hard on yourself for something that you could probably work around or possibly get, some good treatment for. As I have myself an ADHD moment. It is genetic, you can't really blame anyone for ADHD. It's a, brain-based disorder that is often genetic. And so it can contribute to other problems, including loss of productivity, both at work and at school, relationship problems, and legal troubles if you have problems, controlling certain intrusive thoughts or impulsive actions, things like that. So it's definitely something you want to kind of try to understand a little more, especially if you seem to be having these days where, you seem really off or you just don't really feel like yourself. It's probably not nothing, and it is just in general, even if you don't have ADHD, it's going to be helpful just to kind of talk to someone about what's going on. That way you can get a different perspective and try to see, if there's something maybe underlying that you're worried about or that's stressing you out, that's causing you to have this forgetfulness, or to have these stress migraines, to be so stressed, to be basically, scatterbrained. And so that's where massage therapy really comes in well with that. Is, at least for me, I know that whenever I go get a massage, it helps the brain to focus on the area that's getting worked on instead of having your mind racing. Whenever, at least the types of massages I get, where we're kind of working a little deeper, where we're doing it more for pain relief, there is some discomfort, but it's not going to be, so painful that you're jumping off the table or anything like that. So it's really more about helping to kind of raise your body awareness, realizing what areas of your body kind of need more attention, and then being able to do things at home. Hopefully your therapist, which we do, provides you with some sort of homework where you can you can do some stretches or some sort of exercises where it's going to help prolong those effects of your massage therapy session. And it definitely isn't, at least we don't do a lot of things that are overwhelming. We already know that it's overwhelming enough to try and fit in, all these additional things into your lifestyle. So whenever we do programs, we go through and we try to make sure we give you things that you can do and fit into your daily life that isn't going to affect as much of your routine as you would think and said, and really more just like enhance your routine and be able to kind of get you through the day a lot easier. So, and along with that, we have, one second. Itchy nose. All right, so along with emotional wellness, comes depression education, and that's really something that I think a lot of people really overlook. Is they see just like this happy person and not necessarily realizing that something deeper might be happening or going on with them. So you definitely want to check in on your friends, reach out, make sure, if you haven't heard from somebody in a while, it's always, just in general, good to catch up with people. Educate yourself about different ways that you can even bring it up to people. Oh, second. Different ways you can bring it up to people, different ways you can talk about it, because it definitely is going to be a bit of an uncomfortable situation for whoever's involved. Having compassion, having understanding is going to go a long way with someone versus, either invalidating their feelings or, I can't tell you how many times people would say something like, oh, well, just do this, or, they have so many recommendations for what you should just do, but they don't realize, like, the real gravity of the situation, of what you might be going through. And so sometimes just being there for someone and sitting there watching a movie, not really saying anything at all, is going to be what they need the most. Just having someone around, and everyone's a little different. So, I mean, generally you would know your friends better than I would. You definitely want to make sure that, A, that they don't feel like their feelings are invalidated at any point, and B, that, you're there for them, whatever they need, whether it's something small or something big. And so one of the things that we've learned through massage and through different research is that, particularly with depression and massage therapy, massage helps to kind of release a lot of endorphins, those feel-good endorphins. So they do make a lot of claims where massage therapy can actually help increase your mood, increase, kind of make you not necessarily feel as depressed, but it definitely releases a lot of endorphins that make you feel good, make your body itself feel a lot less stressed out. Because we all know that stress is just going to make everything just that much worse. Exacerbates any major issue, and what's the phrase? Stress is the killer. Is I feel underrated. So, you definitely want to make sure that you take care of yourself. See, if you need to see a therapist, go and check one out. They have so many out there. And just reach out to your friends. So, your friends and your massage therapist. Along with that, massage therapy and physical therapy go really hand in hand. Physical therapy, let's see, give me just a second. Yeah, so physical therapy, being able to go and see someone for, it can be a plethora of reasons. It can be because of an injury. It can be because like post-surgery, something like that. But it's going to be really helpful to have a specialist kind of look at your particular condition and your restrictions and see like what it is that you can do to try to get you on that road to recovery so that you can get your range of motion back, you can get your strength back in those areas. A lot of physical therapy does also require some soft tissue work, and so depending on what you need, you would go and see either a massage therapist or stay with the same physical therapist. But a lot of the soft tissue work that they provide is going to be relative to your particular condition and getting the stress kind of moved out of that area. So like for me, it would be the shoulder, for instance. And so for something like that, physical therapy is I feel like something that's kind of forgotten about as well, at least until October's over. At least until, at least not in the month of October. But it's something you do want to think about when you do get injured, trying to see a specialist about the issue that you were having and how it can be helped with some stuff. So, and along with that, all in all that stuff kind of put together, you do want to, it all goes into like your longer term healthcare planning. So you obviously, at least I obviously want to stay here as long as possible, and there are a lot of things you can do to help with your long-term care planning. And not just taking care of yourself necessarily, but taking care of things that can happen, after you're gone as well. They do have some research and of course, obviously if you're going to be less stressed out, with getting a massage and having that be a part of your regular routine, having less stress in general is going to be helpful for your long-term age. It's really where, and it doesn't have to be massage. It can be really any kind of like body work. There's so many different kinds, and there's so many different types of therapists and therapies. They call them modalities, mostly from what I know. But yeah, so there's so many different types of treatments, I guess is my point, that it can really help with whatever particular situation that you might be going through in terms of helping to de-stress and remove a lot of the tension that can be causing and exacerbating your already current illnesses or injuries, things like that. And that kind of leads into one of our last few observances for this month is our National Ergonomics Month. The reason why I'm kind of throwing this in there is we do, especially here, with part of our programs, we go through and we try to figure out what particular motions are causing a lot of the pain and the tension that's built up inside of the body with each particular person. And then we try to adjust and make sure that, you raise your body awareness to the point where you can notice when you're sitting wrong, or you can notice when you're about to start getting a pain in your lower back, and so you can kind of fix it. And so that's where ergonomics kind of comes in, is that, yes, a lot of us are going to have I'm sitting in front of a computer. So, I mean, a lot of things that in our normal day and even in our jobs are going to require us to have a sitting position, hands in front of us. And so a lot of things like your chair, your setup, how things are set up, is really going to help with making sure that your body is in its optimal positioning for the activity that you're in. Floor mats where you can stand on, if you're standing all day, is going to be probably one of the most helpful things. Having an alternating desk where you can kind of stand and sit is going to be probably one of the best things that I've seen. That those desks that kind of raise up and down is pretty cool. And so yeah, so ergonomics. There's a lot that goes into it, not only for longer term. If you're not just like hunched over all the time, you're going to have generally better posture and better health, both in your lower back and your core. It's going to help just with injuries in general. So you can be more active, or if you are more active, you're not straining things that are in the wrong places. Massage therapy itself is going to be a little more helpful in the sense that it's helping to retrain the muscle tissue, where you're having a more relaxed set point. And that's going to be important because whenever you go to relax, when you go to relax, a lot of people, their normal relaxed state is like generally kind of tensed up or, something like that. And that's really not what you want to go for. You want to kind of go for something that's kind of loose, that's letting the muscle sit in a position that's going to be a little more neutral versus being tense and shorter than it needs to be or longer than it needs to be. Because at the end of the day, whenever you have a muscle that's been elongated for more than 5 or 6 hours at a time without really doing much of anything or changing its positioning, it's going to take a lot more energy to actually use that particular muscle group versus, and then you have the stuff at the front that's already been shortened that's going to be pulling not only on the joints, but it's going to be causing a lot more tension here, causing issues here. So, it has a cascading effect whenever you don't have good posture, and it doesn't necessarily occur just like within a day. It's something that happens over time, and then with that, it's going to be a lot harder to get rid of the longer it's been building up. If that makes sense at all. And then one of our last observances, actually, for this month of October, is the LGBTQ History Month. And so because Pride Month was in July, so and the reason why we're bringing this up is because we are an LGBTQ-owned company, and we definitely, support and everything. And so we did a little digging, and from what I can tell, Pride Month usually focuses on the community's past, and the LGBT plus History Month focuses on the present and future, which I feel like it would be reversed. Like if you're talking about the history, then it would be, maybe I'm reading that wrong. Let's see. Let me find a couple of different ones real quick. That's really what I'm seeing everywhere else, but that's essentially like because I was trying to see if there was a difference. I really thought like LGBT History Month was like the same as Pride Month, but it's not. But yeah, so that's kind of what we have there for the month of October. Now there was I think it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I don't particularly practice breast massage, but they do have therapists who go into and practice a thing called breast massage, where they do a lot of really gentle kind of motions where they work on the muscle tissue that is surrounding the area. From what I understand, there are some lymphatic drainage techniques, Thai massage techniques, and so it's very much a blend of different techniques designed to kind of help and alleviate stress and tension in the chest region for women. Again, I haven't really gone down that particular path, just because I feel like it. Like with me especially, I don't feel like I would be able to provide as good of a service as someone that actually has breasts or, something like that. So for me, I definitely go more towards techniques and modalities and classes that really kind of gear more towards the things that we do here in our clinic, and things that are generally a little more accepted by clients. One of the things that we kind of strive for is to make sure that our clients are, of course, comfortable in our presence, and make sure that, there's no kind of like bad vibes or anything like that. So it's something, that we kind of strive for, and that really makes for the entire experience for getting a massage. So yeah, it's if you have breast cancer, or if you are generally curious about that, it's definitely something you can look up and find, for a massage therapist in your area for that. They, whenever massage therapists offer that particular type of treatment, they do go through different channels, not different channels, but they know how to set up their search engine. So whenever you Google it and you're able to actually kind of search for therapist for that, one of the things you want to double check and make sure is you get their license number, and you can actually check to see what they're certified in online, which is pretty cool. Let's see, I believe you can just Google it. So you can just Google mine, 106884, and it'll come up with my name. It'll bring you to like the massage therapy website. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like it. So I think with that, we've pretty much gone over everything as far as all the observances that for this month that are going to kind of tie into things that we're going to be doing. One of the things that we also wanted to do for each of the months is provide, and let you guys know about our free clinic. Some of the excuse me, I had to move my feet. So some of the things that some of the new things that we're doing here at Houston Massage Therapy is going to be our free clinic days. We do have a link where you can sign up and nominate someone to come in and get a free treatment. We do have specific days that they need to come in on, and so after we get the nomination form, we would go through the process of contacting them, getting a day set up that works with both parties, and having them come in to receive a treatment that they normally wouldn't be able to get, or normally wouldn't be able to afford. It's really, for us, helpful to be able to get information out there for people who wouldn't normally even necessarily consider massage an option for some of the tightness or some of the stress that they're under. So with the free clinic days, that's where we kind of dive in a little better, and you're able to actually nominate someone, a loved one or a friend. You just fill out the form. We have the link in the description. One of the other products here that we do carry is going to be the Chirp wheel. The Chirp wheel itself is very much like a foam roller, but it's got a channel for your spine. And with that, it helps to kind of push along the spine and on the soft tissue that goes up and down, giving you a lot more relief versus just pushing on your vertebrae. A link for that particular product is going to be down there in the description. Each of these is going to have a bit of a discount for you, so you can kind of check it out. And if it's something that you've been kind of looking at, now would be the time to kind of get it. Along with that, we have our real-time pain relief cream. If you've ever had something like BioFreeze or Tiger Balm, it is a very comparable product to something like that, where, it provides that relief from pain, relief from inflammation, but without all the chemicals that are in a lot of those. The real-time pain relief cream has a huge variety of different creams, different oils and root extracts And so absorption into the skin is much faster, it's much more effective, and it generally will last a lot longer as well. With that link, you'll be able to get a free $10 gift card towards any online order. And most of the products on there, the smaller bottles, are $10, so it's definitely good towards your first free bottle. I personally like to use the Real-Time Pain Relief Foot Cream. It's a little thicker. I'm used to using a thicker cream whenever I work with, and it does tend to kind of last a little longer. But every one of them's a little, they have a few different products that you guys can kind of check out for yourself. And, from there we can, you can just have it sent directly to you. So without further ado, we are going to let you guys go for the day. And, we appreciate you guys coming out and visiting with me. And once we get through with this, we're going to go through any questions that might have popped up and probably do like a follow-up, like we do with our programs, do more of a follow-up stream where we answer any questions that we may have missed and have it be something a little more, probably about a bit shorter as well. So we hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and until next time.